It's pretty scary, but
I think that's even more scary than
so
we're
not going to die.
Live, I suppose.
fucking ignorance.
Could this be all that's left of the world as we know it in a few months' time? In the next 5 minutes, we're going to find out.
Hi, I'm Lauren and welcome to our special on the end of the world. Now there are many theories about how the world will end. The Mayans had Planet X, Peter Garrett has climate change, and the religious masses had the apocalypse. One of the theories circulating at the moment is that a man-made invention will end the world as we know it. If you've read the news recently, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Built by the European Organisation for Nuclear Research, the Large Hadron Collider lies 100 metres underneath the Swiss-France border. The world's largest scientific experiment, the LHC is a 27-kilometre ring of metal that collides beams of protons as wide as human hair in order to recreate the conditions of the Big Bang. It's sort of like smashing two watches together and seeing which parts come flying out. But some scientists aren't so sure about it, saying that it may create a black hole which would swallow the whole world. One thing's for sure, the results will change our lives forever.
The public. It seems every one of them will be affected by the LHC, whether for the good or the bad. Let's go check out what they have to say about it.
So what do you think of the LHC and the possibility that it may bring about our end?
Well, it's a bit worrisome, to be honest. Scientists controlling our lives, it's a pretty grave matter. I don't know.
I think with science experiments, you have to weigh up the pros and cons of everything. So if it's going to suck up the Earth, then I think that's a pretty bad con.
A little concerned, to be honest with you. Kind of a bit outrageous that a handful of people are given such power to potentially destroy the universe. It's kind of scary.
How do we get, what? How can science do that? I mean, all it can do usually is like help me with my acne and stuff like that. How could it help me? Like, what? That's not what I want scientists to do. Make black holes. It is not what I want.
A black hole is definitely something nobody wants. If one were to occur as a result of the LHC, its gravity would gradually suck us all in, beginning with Europe, until the entire planet became smaller than an atom. Maybe those guys were right to be scared.
But is a situation like that really possible? I don't know, but I'm going to talk to someone who does.
Dr. Bruce Yabsley is a physics professor at the University of Sydney who is also working on the LHC project, so I hoped he had some answers. Is there a possibility that the LHC may create a black hole?
A really little black hole, like smaller than a nucleus, tiny, and that would evaporate off happily, and then that would be it. And we'd get a very spectacular signature and we'd all be very happy and blah, 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 blah. But of course people hear the word black hole and they think something that they've seen on some science fiction film, and then they decide it's going to swallow the Earth and whatever, which of course it won't do.
Yet the media seems concerned that the LHC could lead to disaster.
If someone on the street is told by someone else that, oh, there's this possibility, then okay, maybe they're right to be concerned. But was someone right to tell them that in the first place when it isn't actually an issue? Like, no one who knows anything about it thinks it's an issue, but some guy says that it's an issue. I mean, why is it newsworthy that some guy says it? That's not clear to me.
Those are some pretty heavy words from a pretty busy person. I think we need a second opinion.
I decided to pester Dr. Karl Skrzelnicki, who seems to know everything about anything in science. Luckily, he didn't seem too busy. Some media are saying the LHC is a doomsday machine. What do you think?
The sensationalism in the media about the LHC is typical. If it bleeds, it leads. They're shallow, they want a headline which they forget about, and they don't talk about the real science behind what's going on. It's typical.
This is the largest scientific experiment ever. What about it should we be scared of?
The three main negative disaster scenarios postulated for the LHC are: number one, we'll create a black hole which will destroy the Earth. Number two, we'll create strange matter which will ripple through the universe and turn everything else into strange matter. Or three, we will drop the universe to a lower and more stable quantum vacuum state. For various deep reasons, each of which takes more than 15 seconds to explain, they can't happen.
Sounds complicated. What makes you so sure we're safe?
The main scenario that they're worried about is that when particles collide, you create so much energy that you head off into one of the disaster scenarios. Now, cosmic rays have been hitting the Earth with exactly those energies, and energies less and energies greater, hundreds of thousands of times a day for millions and billions of years.
So the chance of an LHC apocalypse isn't too high then?
The chances that the Large Hadron Collider will end the world or the universe as we know it are roughly equal to your chances of being kicked to death by a duck.
Well, I hope there aren't too many killer ducks walking around. As for the Large Hadron Collider, it seems we'll be safe. For now.